Hey guys, me again. Just catching up on the Big Bang Theory here. I'm just chilling in bed watching some of this stuff. I don't really watch a lot of TV, but the wife got me onto this show because these guys have obviously almost stereotypical nerd geeky taste, but all the comic book references like the Green Lantern and Batman and Flash stuff I actually get, so I can appreciate this more. But this is a really good show. I mean, I've always kind of like been hesitant or reluctant to watch TV because there's just so much going on right now, and I haven't watched TV in forever. I usually just watch DVDs, but yeah, so taking a break and actually inspired me to do another video because, well, apparently when I did my comic book trade and hardcover videos, I made it a three-parter. I forgot a stack of them and actually got maybe a few more in the last few weeks. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna try to cut through this real quick, but if you can get a good look here, got some Marvel, X-Men, mostly Marvel. There's Batman, Long Halloween, which is an excellent read. I'm guessing most of you have heard and read, or at least heard of it, but just cut through this right quick. This is pretty cool. If you're a fan of art or if you're a fan of comic conventions, you'd probably like this. This is called the 3-Minute Sketchbook. It's made by the Hero Initiative, which is a charity organization of sorts which helps retired artists or artists in crises. Correct me if I'm wrong. But essentially, this is a compilation of works. There's a Mike Mignola, I can't say it, Hellboy. There's a Mark Texeira, Wolverine, Andy Kubert, Jim Calafiore. So you've got like big names in here. Essentially, this is here's Pat Olaf, Spider-Man, Steve Rude, Zorro. I'm babbling, but basically, this is a compilation of sketches that were done in under 3 minutes. And the point of this is that you go to a convention. There's Dave Sim, Cerebus. I could talk about this for a while. I just passed it by. Go to a convention, go to the Hero Initiative booth if they have one, or just go to see your favorite artist. And you have here blank pages for the artist to do a sketch. It says artist, date, and time. So I'm guessing time means you time them and see if it's under 3 minutes. That's my guess. But yeah, I mean, this is the type of book that you might want to keep in decent condition. But if you're gonna throw it in your book bag to go to a convention, I mean, it's kind of cool. I personally like my art separate so I can frame it and whatnot, but I mean, I got this for like $6, so if anything I could just appreciate the art that's already in here. So this is the 3-minute sketchbook. Next, the Spectacular Spider-Man Countdown with art by Umberto Ramos, and the main reason for wanting to pick this up is the redesign of Doc Ock, where he actually looks menacing now. You see he's got slick back hair, black leather jacket. Like, he's just more menacing. He's not the chubby dude in the green and brown with the bad haircut and the big glasses. And I mean, I love this anime style because this, at least this artist, reminds me a lot of Joe Madureira from back in the 90s on X-Men. Flash Thompson is a key character in this book. He suffered from, I think I forget why, but he's in a catatonic state, and the subplot to this book is that he's slowly showing signs of recovery, signs of life. And as you know, Flash Thompson used to pick on Peter Parker in school, but he's also Spider-Man's biggest fan, so Peter feels somewhat responsible for him, knowing that he's his biggest fan is in a walking coma. Anyway, so here you have Doc Ock. It's pretty menacing, actually. I think it looks great. He basically leaves Spider-Man with a dilemma to... he meets him in private and tells him to unmask himself, and Spider-Man refuses, and the next day he takes, I'm going to say Persian, correct me if I'm wrong, Persian or Iranian, ambassador hostage, and then Spider-Man realizes that this was because he didn't unmask himself, so he feels fully responsible, but I mean, he always does. So there's another Doc Ock. Anyway, I think the Marvel Select figurines, oh, a nice one, released this version of Doctor Octopus with Spider-Man in one of those custom deluxe figures. But this is a really good book. I like these standalone trades because every time they change the artist in these books like Spectacular or Peter Parker, um, it's a make or break for me because if I'm not sold on the art, I have trouble picking up the book. But I was always sold on Humberto Ramos. He did a really good run on Spectacular or Peter Parker where he reintroduced the Green Goblin, Return of the Goblin. If you can get that, that's also really cool. So this is a really good book. It's a 90s throwback, The Savage Dragon. This is the 3-issue limited series that predated the ongoing series. This is just old school Eric Larson. I say old school because this was in the early 90s, which is almost 20 years ago. Sad to say, but I mean, this was new back in the day for me. But I mean, it's a Hulk type guy with a fin who's a cop. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but with Eric Larson, nothing has to make sense. And his biggest influence, as he's always said, is Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby drew a bunch of monster comics. So if you like that old school monster comic stuff, or just like a lot of fighting here, see talk, and some gunfire sounds and all that. If you like this kind of monster mayhem that doesn't make sense, but also has a good sense of humor, I mean, I would pick this up. I know a lot of these are out of print and hard to get, but I don't think the demand is too high. So if you can find it at a decent price, I would recommend this. So this is Savage Dragon. Another 90s throwback, and one of my favorites from the X-Men titles is this Origin of Generation X, which should have actually been retitled X-Men The Phalanx Covenant. It's written tiny here, Tales of the Phalanx Covenant. Pretty thick actually. This is the entire collection of the Phalanx Covenant comics leading up to Generation X #1. Generation X was kind of like the New Mutants from the 90s with you had Jubilee and Sync and M and Skin and Penance was always my favorite, and Husk and the White Queen and Banshee. This is the White Queen leading an X-Men team before she's now leading an X-Men team. But this is old school 90s X-Men with Joe Madureira, Andy Kubert, Adam Kubert, Scott Lobdell. You got Gambit, Beast, Rogue, Storm, Cyclops, X-Factor, X-Force, Strong Guy. I mean, this is a 90s throwback. I read this when I was a teenager, and I loved it because I was sold on the foil covers. But back when you had like Fatal Attractions and Executioner Song and all that good stuff, I mean, this was a gem, but only got reprinted now. But yeah, 90s throwback. I love it. Find it, buy it. I've got a minute left, so, and I've got all that. All that. See, this is what happens. I love my comics so much, I just babble. I mean, anyway, so I'm just gonna thank you all again for your support and make another video, and all my subscribers and friends and commentators and whatnot. I mean, keep it coming. I love my hobby. You love the hobby. Let's just keep sharing. Alright, take care, guys. Bye.